ordinary people are using coins because they're not, but it is used as a basis for many other debts, like a ledger item or something. So therefore, this is there's something called the Lia Kaver, who are sort of the ninja / thief guild sort of thing, and that's what they do. That's
counterfeit minting.
Yeah.
If you're really smart, you can get the double amount of silver coins by melting in some lead or something.
That tends to backfire. It gets a little more tempting, a little more tempting, a little more tempting, a little more, and then the local lord says, "You're not helping me anymore. Off with your head."
There's a reason all the merchant titles have a
scale.
Yeah. That's why they have it.
So we have. So therefore, it is a bit interesting. Someone like David would quickly go to Rodri and say, "Here." And that would be a big benefit to the constable. Because the constable, of course, has kind of, with one eye closed, has one hand in all of this. And so the fact that that's not happening means that this statuette has some other meaning. And you have asked about the alchemist and things like that, and you have finally figured out that he is after this plant from the marshes called the yellow lotus. And the yellow lotus is a disorienting drug that is not widely regarded. It's not cool. It's, it makes people stupid and is regarded as sort of a dumb thing to do. But refined and shipped somewhere else where people have nothing better to do with their time, it can actually be a valuable narcotic. But on the other hand, it's rare, it's hard to get, it's in the marshes. And some of the things that David left with you to protect is more than just the statuette. Remember, there's a box of things.
Yeah.
Some of it is dried madwort, which is a different plant, which is widely regarded as medicinal. And you're not plant savvy enough to really know what that could be used for. But clearly, we're talking about ingredients for something that an alchemist could make. And you know that this is the statue of a mer-dragon, and he was very intent about going off into the marshes. And so let's see here. Oh, and you did, as I found when I was reviewing the sessions, you did find that the cult of Morgoth was interested in Petrain, and that they had set Fergal involved. And I thought we would retroactively provide just a little bit more context for this. Because when you were talking to them, we would have characterized the senior Morgoth acolyte, who I have decided is actually a couple.
Okay.
And they are, if you watch them in their daily life, they are very busy and very industrious community members who gut fish and dry it. And they're very good at gutting the fish. They're Hivrik, the man, and Eilwyd, the woman. I'll pass around the sheet so you can see them. This all has to do with what everybody knows about the cult of Morgoth. Everyone, like worldwide. What their real service is, according to one of the derived books, which I thought was a good idea. They have kind of a do you a favor ritual, where you go and depending on how much you give, and that is amount, so you would go to a specific kind of meeting, or in a big, if you actually had a temple of Morgoth, which are rare, there would actually be a place for the different amounts, but that's handled informally most places. You basically give a donation and you say, God, I wish that guy would just die. Or, ooh, I just need that job. Whatever you can do to make me get that job, or whatever. or any shady, it's dirty deeds done dirt cheap. That's what they offer. And that makes sense as to why they even exist, right, culturally. So the Morgoth cult is noted for its... Now, it also then turns into necromancy and death worship and all sorts of nihilism and weird stuff. But that's for the people who believe. That's not for, or commit to the temple. That's everyone else. Maybe one person out of 100 or 1,000 really wants that dirty deed done. And so that is what they do. You now know they did. There is a dirty deed at work here, and that Fergal's job is at least the preliminaries of it. He's just a minor acolyte, but he is keeping his eye on Petraine is the idea. And so, initiative is always appreciated.
Okay.
As Fergal, you already said you felt like, being a little bit proactive. And however, initiative has a way of working when it works.
But then Osman would also know that the cult doesn't really go around killing people just for their own sake. They actually have a reason for doing it. Someone else.
Absolutely. That's the cult of Nave.
Who
runs around killing people for its own sake.
Okay.
And the trouble, and not even in Rethem is the cult of Nava sanctioned.
No.
Okay.
I seem to recall reading somewhere that I think Golotha is the only city that's actually controlled by Morgoth. They actually own the city.
No, that's not correct. It's an Agric city. But Morgoth is one of the only city in Harn where there is an open temple.
Right. And Petraine is from Morgoth, or is based there, at least. Petraine, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, he's from Golotha. Yeah.
So it could really be anyone who wants him sort of out of the way. Really.
Correct. Yeah.
He has a lot of colleagues, sort of...
or what you're getting the idea is that this thing that he's up to with Dafid has enemies.
Yeah.
So you are starting to say, okay, I'm starting to realize there's something really at work here. Yeah. And when you talked to Rodri, he seemed kind of a little too knowledgeable. About this, and you've kind of put it together. They're up to something with the currency, probably approved of by the constable, with or without really openly saying so, and it has something to do with this statuette and drugs of some kind. So it's weird. It's I mean, ordinarily it's just like here's some silver. Yeah. Fantastic. Here's a promissory note. Where did I find that?
Exactly.
Or something like that. Or all of a sudden you're set. The constable will order everything through you for the next season. Here's your contract for it. How'd you get that contract? Oh, we like each other. So that's what would ordinarily happen.
Public procurement.
So that is where we are at with the
going around town.
That's what happened with you.
Yeah, the entire day basically.
Yeah. But it gives you a lot to work with, depending on what you want to do.
Exactly.
And then now we're going to work through. No, it's 20. Okay, so no counter there. And okay. Now we are moving into day 10, and I'm just going to check on Petraine's situation. And then we're going to... Oh, wait. I made a photocopy so I wouldn't have to go into the book for this. Good.
So now there's 10 days left until the big Morgoth sacrifice day.
Yes, and he'll be showing up at some point between now and then.
26th.
Yeah.
Yes, and now it's 10. So
10.
16. Oh, it's day 10. Okay, I thought it was 10 days after.
No,
okay.
it's the 10th of.
Oh, wait.
I think so.
Yeah, makes sense.
I had a question about one of my stats. About one of my skills.
Go on.
The throwing skill.
Yeah.
Strength, dex, eyesight. How do you get an 11 where strength, dex, and eyesight is all 15?
Right.
How do you get an 11?
I have no idea.
You wrote it. So you should be... You wrote these ones before you came.
Yeah, I know.
So,
But you're asking me what I did 2 months ago.
yeah, so I'm just confused how it got to 11.
I'm curious. That looks familiar to me, actually. I hope there's not a good reason for that. I hope I was just looking at the wrong numbers or something. Although with scores like yours, nothing could be an 11. Was there some reason why it was so low? Anyway, make it 15, and then that makes that 60.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking, how am I bad at throwing when everything else is good? So I was just really confused.
And I have checked for various encounters and things. Oh, and I need to check for him as well. Checking on what's happening to the characters that are not. Oh. Okay, so I know what is happening with the various non-player characters. I do know that the creature is going to make its stealth check. And that's I think the last maintenance that I need to do. Oh, here. Let's get these out there. I see you brought your own combat sheet. The one that I printed. Yeah. And then this, which is very, very helpful in orienting.
Are we still getting development check marks every time we roll? Not only.
No, as it turns out, all that means is that that makes it eligible for you to choose at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Right. Because you only get 3, but we should check them for stressful times because those are extra rolls.
Right.
That's the way to do it. So a check means stress. I did it under stress.
Okay.
And each check will be a roll, except for combat and magic.
Yeah.
Which are almost there. Okay. So then we have the all right. You are when you wake up, the creature moves away and flies around where you can't see it.
Yeah.
But you saw that it was there.
Okay.
So it's not being it's not having a good stealth day.
No.
So every so often you're going to
Notice it.
it, and that also means that if there were an encounter,
They wouldn't notice it.
they would have an awareness check.
Yeah.
I would give them an awareness check. Fortunately, your encounters at this moment are few, if too absent.
Yeah.
And I will check again during the day because you're not really in a safe place.
No.
But most importantly, you are aware that people and goats are gone. When you wake up, you're like, wow, nobody is here.
Okay.
We need to, more retroactive stuff that I have in my notes is that the creature is actually not, sadly, the creature is not actually capable of wreaking havoc across a group of armed people.
No.
So it would have done one horrific thing and flown
yeah.
off. And then that led the others to all run around and run off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's maybe it probably just brain blasted the guy and he just pitched over or something like that. But the point is it is formidable, but it is not quite the flying shark that I implied. It does do best to stealth, hypnotize, and feed. And it's smart enough to know that that's what it should do. What the hell with it? Tell me. What now are we going to do? I've oriented everything. I know what I want to do with your character and who's talking to you. I don't know for Osquin. I don't know for Lothar. And I know what you're going to go do. So let's get the unknowns handled first. For the... On day 10, for first watch, not going to worry about. End of the second watch, roughly. No, with third watch. Let's start with the third watch. 8 o'clock.
Let's start, or should I start?
I'd like to subtly try to discuss the thing about my prescient powers or prescience with my mother, and see if that is something that runs in our blood or. Because I realized that problem making food out myself. So you got power. So so I'm asking around if
the family stories or something. Like
yes, while trying to be useful and cleaning cleaning stuff.
I'm not sure there's a skill roll with that. I think that you will definitely find that members of your family on your mother's side have often been thought of as witchy, and that sometimes that's worked out very well, and sometimes that's worked out very badly.
Okay.
But they do know that when someone in the family says they had a dream that seems to mean a lot, everyone pays attention.
Okay, so I tell her that I have started to experience these premonitions.
Weren't you a foster child, though? Oh, wait, we should back up a second.
Yeah,
you're a foster child.
Yes,
you're a foster child. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't see why all you need is someone with a high aura. And so it seems that I can stick with that. And that one of the reasons that they fostered you was because somebody had, a vision or a dream that said that they should. Okay. And, half the family said, oh, for God's sake, not that bullshit. Right. But some decided that was the decision involved. Okay. So it's kind of an answer. It makes some sense.
Yeah. That's something to ponder.
Yeah. And I really need that sheet that I was just, there we go, finally. What you'll find out in the morning is that the Sarginin party turned out not to be really great, because they had just got into singing the important song when the steward showed up and said, shut up and knock that noise off, go to bed. And they were able to kind of do like one little ritual check, if we speak of it in game terms, and kind of that's all they got.
Okay.
This turns out to be something of a pattern. Orthos is the guy coming.
Yeah, in the fancy dress.
Orthos was the Agric.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Now I realized that we actually saw him in the first session.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. At one point when in one of the earlier sessions, when Arthur was running around the keep for the first time, looking for the constable, he passed Orthos, who seems to be of the opinion that all the fuss meant that they got to burn someone alive or something cool like that. And he was disappointed when they told him it wasn't. And so he's the one that we saw at the inn preparing for that festival, which, as you may have noticed, was also a little minimized. You're at the keep. You pick up a lot from there now.
Yeah.
The constable shut that down as well. That's why he didn't get to execute someone. I mean, it seemed very reasonable. There has to be someone around here that the constable has decided needs executing. It's a reliable event. But this time the constable said, no executing. Do the pageant, but, and get it over with after, do your little dances and stuff, but get it over with and be done. And he was like, but the people need, it's like, shut up. And so this is pretty high-handed for a secular leader to really be, he's letting the rituals and stuff happen, but he's minimizing their social activity and is very definitely informing the visible religious people that, everything here that happens about that stuff, I have the final say about. That's pretty strong. He would never get away with that if the people at Henway had not undergone terrible disasters in the last few months. And the priests there are busy, really busy actually. So he's really, remember that you had found out about that.
Yes,
almost first thing in play. Well, this is now we're seeing it happen. So you're going to get your belly rubbed for a little while, and you're going to go and meet our steward, who is Geralt. Now, this guy's lived a long time. He's old for this culture, which is 60, which is pretty solid old, and is, and if you last that long, you're pretty rugged. So he's definitely nobody to screw around with, soft spoken, but that kind of makes it worse. So he's taken you. He says, "All right, it's time." Sir Petrin says it's time to take your snot nose to go learn something real. And to do that, we're going to go meet a very important person